Hello, my name is Amanda Quiroz, and I'm going to be talking about Hadrian and Ancient Rome architecture. So let's begin. Okay, so first of all, who was Hadrian? Hadrian was the third of the so-called five good emperors. Hadrian was an enlightened autocrat, and despite his arrogance, he was politically moderate and versatile. He was an architect and he was an emperor from ancient Rome. So, Hadrian's Wall. This was Hadrian's signature architectural structure. The story behind it is that Hadrian's Wall was the northwest frontier of the Roman Empire from nearly 300 years. This was built by the Roman army and others of the Emperor Hadrian following his visit to Britain in AD 122. At 73 miles long, the most famous of all the frontiers of the Roman Empire, Hadrian's Wall was made a World Heritage Site in 1987. Initial design and how it started. As first planned, most of the wall was built in stone, but the eastern 30-mile section was in turf. At each mile, a gate was protected by a small guard post called a mile castle. Design alteration. Before the first plan was completed, a radical change led to the placing of forts on the wall line and down the Cumbrian coast, and the construction of the earthwork to the south. The addition of the forts was followed by the construction of an earthwork to the south 120 Roman feet wide. This consisted of a central ditch between two mounds. Causeways surmounted by gates were provided at forts. Now, why was it built? The Roman governors of Britain began building the wall that would later be named for the emperor to defend the part of Britain they controlled from attack. In Hadrian's words, they wanted to separate Romans from the barbarians to the north. It took 6 years to complete Hadrian's Wall. So, who built the wall? Hadrian's Wall was built by the army of Britons, as many inscriptions demonstrate. The three legions of regular trained troops in Britain, each consisting of about 5,000 heavily armed infantrymen, provided by main body of men building the wall. Who mined the wall? Although mainly built by legionaries, the wall was mined by auxiliaries. They were organized into regiments, nominally either 500 or 1,000 strong, and either infantry or cavalry or both. So, what happened with the wall? Now, the wall in actuality. Hadrian's Wall has been slighted when it was abandoned, with mile castle gates removed and cross signs thrown across the volume ditch. Now, all was brought back into working order, though the work of reconstructing it, the volume was never finished. A road was also added to the frontier. What is it Hadrian was part of in the architectural world? So Hadrian rebuilt two of the main structures that Rome has. The Pantheon is one of them. So the Pantheon is a former Roman temple and since the year 609 a Catholic church in Rome, Italy, on the site of an earlier temple commissioned by Marcus Agrippa during the reign of August. It was rebuilt by the Emperor Hadrian. The other thing that Hadrian was involved in was the renovation of the Basilica of Neptune. So the Basilica of Neptune was a basilica built in Rome by Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa in honor of Neptune and in celebration of his naval victories. Near the site of the Pantheon, it remains were restored under Hadrian for an unknown use. So here we can see some pictures of some of the design that is in the Basilica of Neptune. We can see how a lot of detail is carved into rock and cement, and how Hadrian and Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa used a lot of carvations and a lot of design to like give it a certain like view. So yeah. So how can we see Roman and Greek influence in today's architecture? Ancient Greek temples feature proportional designs, columns, friezes, and pediments, usually decorated with sculptures in relief. Ancient Greek architecture continues to influence modern architects as they plan classical and modern designs. Many of the basic elements of Greek architecture impact modern architecture.